All right. Well, with that, we've got a lot of people that are joining, and I'm going to go ahead and get started because I don't want to keep you tonight. I do want you to enjoy your Appreciation Day. We're a day after Cinco de Mayo, so super excited. Hopefully, you guys had a margarita. For me, I had a margarita for you, that's for sure. But let's go ahead and get started. So, hey, COVID-19 is going on, and maybe you decided to stop marketing. I did a poll last month inside of our group to ask how many of you guys are continuing marketing, or how many have stopped or are not marketing at all. And I was actually pretty surprised to see that many of you guys are not marketing your business at all during COVID. But to my pleasant surprise, some of you are still showing up in your business. You're doing live streams, you're posting great information about destinations. I'm going to call out some of you guys because I have been following you. TT is, I don't know her schedule, but every time I see it in my timeline, I get super excited. She does a trivia question, and she's been doing that for some time now, where she asks a question, she posts a really great tantalizing picture, and then asks you a question. And then if you scroll down and open up the post, it'll give you the answer. And that's really great. Some of the suppliers that I'm friends with on Facebook, they've been doing some really great supplier information, like videos or virtual sort of tours of properties, pictures, information about suppliers. All of that is great stuff. But for those of you who are not doing anything during COVID, this live stream is for you. So today we're going to talk about how you can market your travel business during a crisis like COVID-19. All right, so let's get started. Today, I've got four tips for you in terms of what you can do to market your travel business during a crisis like we're experiencing now. Now, let's be honest. The crisis that we're experiencing now is like no other. It has impacted the travel industry dramatically. There is, zero to no, zero or less than a zero traveling going on, particularly in the leisure market. Places that are busy, like I saw a video of JFK, and that place is usually packed, was completely empty from the video shots that I saw. And places, Times Square, places that are traditionally filled with people are not, because we are hunkering in, and we're trying to do the right thing and stay safe. That is like a hard word combination for me. Stay safe. So with that, travel has been significantly impacted, right? All of you guys, from a financial perspective, I'm sure have had some sort of hit. And so it can be easy for you to assume that you shouldn't do any marketing, right? Nobody's going anywhere. What would I market? How would I market my travel business? So let's look at some ways that you can stay connected to your community and still represent the travel industry and your travel business during this time. So number one, the first thing is you can, one of the biggest things that are going out is just a slew of information, right? Of all sorts, right? Negative, positive, whatever. And what you can do in your travel business is you can become what I'm referring to as the go-to person in your niche, travel related. So let's say you specialize in cruises, right? Which is one of the things that I specialize for my small community of travelers, is we do specialize in cruises. So you can become the person that is going to keep your community up to date on what's going on in the cruise, right? All of us are watching the cruise industry, right? So there's a lot of information. Just yesterday, I was inside of a group, and a group posted Norwegian's fact that they may be going bankrupt. They're looking to secure $2 billion. Less than 24 hours later, they've secured the $2 billion, right? So I certainly wouldn't want to try and be the up-to-minute industry, representative. But what you can do is create sort of a summary synopsis, maybe weekly or every other week, of what's going on in your niche, right? So be the go-to person and provide information about your particular specialty, your niche in your business, and provide what's going on in the industry so that your customers can know what to expect, right? So that's number one. You can be the go-to person. Number two way that you can market your business in this time is you can be supportive and communicate in interesting ways. And what I mean by that is I really, really personally have been enjoying the virtual tours, right? And the suppliers are doing that. So there is no reason for you not to leverage that type of communication, right? You can also look at, that actually jumps to my number 3. So let me talk more specifically about supportive and communicating in interesting ways, right? What I mean by that is locally, right? So some of the things that you can do is how can you locally support businesses that are in your area and then champion those. I actually saw a post of a travel professional who had posted something about I think local restaurants and started hashtagging the local restaurant in her area and using that as a way to support not only that restaurant, but then, that's on her channel as well. And so usually your customers are probably coming from your community. They're people that you see on a regular basis, maybe or maybe not. But the point is that find ways that you can support others and also your clients. So for another example of that, is, I tell you guys, if you are, number one step when you're starting and launching your travel business is to determine a niche, right? So all of you guys have probably heard that a million times from me. But one of the things in determining your niche that one of the recommendations that I give you is to actually look at organizations that your people are in. So maybe you're a part of those organizations. Many of you know that I'm a certified project manager. So one of the organizations that I used to participate, not so much in, but is my local chapter of PMP. And so that if I was marketing to project managers, that's where I would go. So how could I support that local chapter, right? So if wine is a good example. I was talking to a vendor last year, and for those who want to specialize in wine, we were pairing that vendor with wine specialties. So, right, are there wine, and I'm using wine as an example. So if you specialize in luxury river cruises and you are targeting wine connoisseurs, right? Working with your local winery, right, or that club that deals with them, and figure out how you can support them, or you guys can work together to do some sort of information session in terms of how can you still get wine during the COVID, right? That would be an interesting way to support not only locally, but then also get your name still relevant out there and providing something that your customer and your niche customer base would be interested in, right? So hopefully that one makes sense. What you're looking for in number 2 is ways to be supportive, right? I really think this is ingenious. I sew, but don't have the time. There are so many people making face masks, right, at home. I don't know if you're one of them. I know some of the people in our community are making face masks. How can you guys support each other in that? Again, your purpose during marketing. I always tell you there's 3 objectives in marketing, right? It is to make people aware of something, to garner engagement, or to make sales, right? This right now obviously is not the time to make sales, but you certainly should be working on 1 or 2, right? Which is increasing awareness about your travel business during this time. People are connected, they're online, right? So how do you get in front of them? And even though you specialize in travel, there's still no reason why you cannot be building awareness in your business and or getting engagement in your business, right? So number 2 is to be supportive and communicate and or collaborate with local or areas of your niche that potentially you can partner with. All right. Number 3 is be active. Don't stop. For those who answered the poll and said that you are no longer doing any marketing, I want you to rev that engine back up and start to think of ways in these examples that I'm giving you that you can continue to get that engagement, continue to be on the minds of your customers, because the travel engine is going to resume, right? And when it does resume, you want your prospective customers and your customers to remember that you were there during COVID-19, providing information, entertainment, whatever position you want to do, keep doing it, right? So number 3 way to market your business is to actually market, right? Be active. Do something. Don't choose to do nothing, right? All right. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is in that activity that I'm asking you to do, there's so many ways to be active, right? Coming on live, if you are video shy, which some of you are, right? A tool like StreamYard makes it so easy to just push a button, schedule it, push a button, and boom, you're there. That's all you need to do, right? Social media marketing, posts. You can also even record yourself and then upload that video or audio, right? You can do all sorts of things to remain active and on the forefront of your customer's mind. All right, so the last tip that I have for you to market your business is to leverage your suppliers, right? So I was mentioning some of the great things. I'm going to mention people by name. So Kelly Washburn from Vacation Express, I just recently befriended her, and she is on Facebook killing the game on her post, right? So every day or week, I don't know if she's doing a week theme. I haven't really been paying attention to the theme, but it's either every day or every week. And I think it's almost every day. She has got a different themed property that she's showing, that she showcases pictures and she gives information about the property. And I was going to do a dual screen and do all that, but I don't have time for that today. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot that and post that inside of our group. But what it does is that she's a partner of yours potentially, right? Are you guys using Vacation Express to do your research and to do quotes? If you are, or if you're not, obviously if you are, that would be great. Is leverage your suppliers' marketing collateral, right? Use their images, use their descriptions to then create a virtual tour. Many of the properties are doing videos. They're doing videos like little snippet videos, 30 seconds, 30 seconds to a minute videos that you can snag. There's no reason that you cannot use those on your in your social media. If you're doing emails, you could include them in emails. If you're doing blogs, you can download the videos and include them in blogs. Obviously, I want you to be copyright compliant, so just check with your supplier. For most of them, again, I don't know everything, but for most of the suppliers, they have marketing sections of their site where you can download images and videos. And if if you see a BDM that's doing it, ask their permission. I did ask Kelly if I could call her out today, and she said, absolutely, you could use her pictures, descriptions as part of any of the marketing that you're doing for, obviously the properties that she's promoting and that kind of stuff. So what I can say is this is the time for you to be leveraging those partnership relationships, right? So for many of you who are with a host agency, right? And that is how you have your superpower, right? That is the number one reason why you have a host agency, is to leverage the supplier relationship. So if you don't know who your BDM is for a particular supplier, all you have to do is go to your host agency and look it up, right? For most of your host agencies, again, I'm not trying to speak for every host agency that exists, but most of them have some way for you to look up who your salesperson is, who your contact is, so that you can then start to develop that personal relationship with them. And you should be. This is the time to do that. Those BDMs are down, have significant amount of downtime, just like you do. So why not leverage that? Why not get the opportunity to know them and utilize their collateral to communicate with your customers? They want you to do that. So I want you to do that too. So Kelly, her name is Kelly Washburn, and she actually came on 3 weeks ago, and she talked about Vacation Express. So you may want to check the videos in either Facebook or on YouTube. You can check the video and look for underneath a playlist in YouTube called Travel Suppliers That I Love. And her video on Vacation Express is there. And I talk about who she is, or she talks about who she is too. So she's on Facebook. Vacation Express also has a Facebook group where they talk all about Travel Express. I keep saying Travel Express, but Vacation Express. They talk about Vacation Express, the promotions that they're doing, and that group is dedicated to their supplier. Most of the suppliers have a particular group. They certainly have business pages, and they also have support groups for us agents to join. So my recommendation is for you to do that. Leverage your suppliers and leverage the marketing collateral that they have in images and video. And if anything, swipe what they're doing, right? And then disseminate that to your community if it's applicable to your particular niche. Okay. All right. So that's 4 tips for you to do. But here's some bonuses for you to consider in terms of, okay, so now you've decided that you want to do something, right? Here's some bonus ideas in terms of what types of marketing you can be doing, content types. So you can create tips, right? Tips relative to your niche, right? I love doing tips. And so what you can do is you can do a tip series. You can do, a blog on a collection of tips for a particular area, but tips are great. People are so interested on what they are going to need to do, right? How to stay sane in a COVID environment, right? How do you escape mentally when you're dealing with your children to go to the Bahamas, right? Whatever you want to do in the terms of the tip arena, tips are awesome thing. Quotes. In this time, quotes are great, right? Motivational quotes around how people can stay. I am having a hard time with the word stay today. So stay sane, right? Mental health is a huge issue during this time when people are locked up. So, acknowledging that and knowing that people need an outlet, that's important. So quotes, motivational quotes, inspirational quotes dealing with travel related inspiration, they do exist. So seeking that type of information out and utilizing that is a great way to keep your name out there as well. And then the third type of content you can do is what I've already mentioned, which is industry updates or statistics. I have been reading. Now, I can tell you, I've already been a reader. I've always been a reader and a consumer of information, but I am on overdrive so much that I almost am near insomnia, right? I am consuming so much information on a daily basis. I know my brain is about to explode. So I always get overwhelmed about day 3. I've got to take a nap in the middle of the day because I have just consumed so much information. But what I can tell you about that is that I know that I cannot tell you which travel magazine I read it, but what I did read is that there have been several polls that have been done amongst travelers, so our customer base, that indicate that we are going to bounce back, and we're going to bounce back great, right? So what are you doing in your particular niche to keep your customers aware of what's going on and what they can expect? News on the street is that international travel may, if you're in the United States and you're watching, may be delayed, right? So that means domestic travel is probably going to increase. If your niche is all around international travel, what do you need to do to prepare yourself or reposition yourself for domestic travel, right? What is the industry saying? So what statistics do exist out there? People love stats, they love quotes, they love industry information, and there's certainly a way for you to position yourself in that. So then the fourth type is blogs. Now, if you're not a writer, blogs may not be that great of an idea, but if you are a writer, I am a batch writer. So, I know I've got to do a blog. I can't just sit down and write a blog. It's not the way I work. I gotta have the thought, and then I gotta get in the mode of writing, right? So if you are like that, or if you are just a natural writer, writing blogs and creating a blog right now during this time would be a great way for you to communicate. And that actually is a great long-term marketing strategy, because if you SEO it properly, you can always get people to continue to come to that content for years to come. And then the last thing that is really good, a type of marketing, is polls, is to send out polls either via email, do them on social media. You can do polls in stories. You can do polls in a post. You can do that, Facebook, I really like their polls. You can just do a poll in an image and then get people to engage, right? Again, your objective is engagement and awareness right now, right? Is building that awareness and that engagement with your customer base, or in areas that your customers are in. So even if you don't own that group or that location, doesn't mean that you can't sneak in there and start adding value to a group that you're a part of where your customers are. Okay. So those are the types that you can do during this time. I would love to see you guys do that. For those that are, Mary Thompson is doing a great job. She's got a new Tuesday show that she's releasing. Mary, you have to tell us the name of it. I've already told you TT Hardison is doing it. I see her almost every day, for sure, every week out there doing her trivia post, right? There's so many of you guys, and I can't even call all of you out, but those are people for sure I know that are doing it. I know that some of you guys are doing it, but let me tell you what I really want to see. I don't want to see you forwarding and not commenting. I always say, you need to take a stance. You need to take a position, right? So if you feel compelled to share somebody else's content, you need to have a blurb on the top as to what your opinion is of that, why you think that's beautiful, even if it's just a couple of words, but don't just share and not have an opinion. Take a stance on it and be clear about what it is that you feel. How did it move you? What response do you have? What do you think, right? So you'll never see me share anything and me not have an opinion, right? You know what they say about opinions, right? But the point is that you need to take a stance on something, and you need to be clear about what that is. So don't just share, like blind share is what I call it. Share with an opinion, because you are a position, you are a person who is knowledgeable. You are the person and the expertise in your niche, right? So demonstrate that expertise every opportunity that you get. All right, so with that, those are the 4 items. Then we also have the bonus, and then here's what I've got to offer for you guys. So for those who are looking for ways to learn how to batch content create, I am doing a class this Saturday at 11 a.m. And we are going to be doing an interactive class. It's going to be about 2 hours. And we are going to build 30 days of content in one sitting, or at least plan for it, have you started, so that all you have to do is fill in the blanks when we're done at the 2 hours. But the idea is to learn how I do my batch creation, how I get it done, get it scheduled, and it's off my plate, right? So do this exercise, these series of exercises for us to get her done and be done, right? So we actually plan out our content, have it scheduled out. I think we're in the month of September, October right now, right? In terms of scheduling out. But my goal is to have it scheduled, scheduled and forgotten, right? In terms of what it is. Now, when we do promotional content, that's separate, but I'm talking about the sort of engagement content that you should be doing on a regular basis. If you'd like to join me on the class, you are absolutely more than welcome. You should be getting an email that lets you know when the class is going to happen. And then also you can look at the ticker here. If you go to bit.ly, check out batch content, you can also sign up for the class. For those who are first class members, it's already in your dashboard. All you got to do is show up. We're going to be holding it live Saturday at 11 a.m. If you miss it, you can always catch the replay. However, you don't get the opportunity to actually interact and get the feedback directly from me. You'll have to do that via, comments or text or discussion threads if you don't join us live. So I always encourage you to join live if you can, but if you can't, I do respond to the discussion threads inside of the class. All right, with that, I want to say thank you for joining me tonight. This is our first episode of Travel Boss TV. Super excited to have it. Jazz says that she is looking forward to the content class. I'm looking forward to giving it, because this has been something I did a poll with you guys, and you guys said that you guys were super interested in learning about this batch content. So I'm very excited to be working with you guys this Saturday to help you build that content for you. Mary, I just want to mention some of the comments that are on before I go. Mary says that she's been doing virtual vacations, and that's been pretty successful for her. And I think that's great. I think that you should absolutely continue that. I love the tip. I can't remember what you call it, Mary. You have to tell me what you call your Tuesday event. But the Tuesday event, I love the idea, right? I love the branding, and you're using StreamYard to do that. I think it's great. And so Deneen says the content class is much needed. Absolutely. And Deneen, you are a member, so that is already in your dashboard. Conference information is available inside the dashboard. So we have about 3 days until the class. This class will not be available once it's held. So get it while it's here. Moments with Mary, that's what it is, because I love the play on the M's. So it's Moments with Mary, and it's on Tuesday nights, right? I think that's right. I think that's the right day. And Mary says that she'll be there on Saturday. Super excited to have you guys there. Again, if you'd like to register for the class, all you have to do is go to bit.ly, check out batch content, and you can quickly register and then get enrolled in the class, and then I will see you on Saturday. With that, if there are not any questions or comments, any additional comments, Monday nights, Mary, it's a play on M's, I should have known. So it's Moments with Mary on Mondays. I love it. I love it. I love the whole combination of the M's. So that is great. So just like Mary, so be like Mary and, stay engaged with your community, right? Show up and show out as often as you can, even during a crisis for the travel industry like we're experiencing now. There is no reason for you not to create a connection path to your community or your prospective community. They will thank you for it. They will thank you for the opportunity to connect. And that is the way that you build relationships, right? So when the travel engine reopens, you'll be the first person on the top of their mind when they're ready to plan that trip. All right, with that, you guys have a great evening, and I will talk to you soon. Join me next Wednesday when we will be talking about business planning inside of Travel Boss TV, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.